Hello, and welcome to Week 5, your final week of Google Spreadsheets. This week includes some of my favorite G Suite features, charts, graphs, and pivot tables that all help to make large amounts of data manageable, understandable, and sometimes downright beautiful. Each chart or graph serves a different function and communicates different kinds of data comparisons, so it's important to know exactly what you're trying to communicate before choosing and inserting a chart. Pie charts, the simplest and most frequently used kind of chart, also convey the simplest comparison of data in the spreadsheet. Essentially, who has the most of whatever. In the example below, the pie chart shows 4 teams, with each team represented by a color, and divides up a circle into a pie pieces based on the number of points each team scored out of all of the possible points. The green team scored the most points, so gets the biggest piece of the pie, roughly 34% of the pie to be exact. The red team also did well, but poor yellow gets the smallest piece of the pie because they only scored 12 points. In this case, we're providing a snapshot of scores compared to other scores during a certain moment in time. We're not showing if and how those scores changed, and we're doing what's called an apples-to-apples comparison, where one common factor, the score, is compared across 4 different teams. Bar graphs and line graphs can communicate something a little bit more complex, how data increases or decreases over time. In the line graph below, those same 4 teams are being compared based on the points they scored during a game. But this graph also allows you to compare scores between 2 different parts of the game, the first period and the second period. Team 1 didn't have a great first half with their 24 points, but they came back strong with 89 points in the second half and absolutely drowned the other 4 teams. Team 4 did something similar, and teams 2 and 3 had 2 low-scoring halves in the game. The differences between charts and graphs in this instance is the ability to add progress, or the lack thereof, over time. Google Sheets has also made some fun charts and graphs to play with, including a map infographic that could potentially be used to see where clients or potential markets are concentrated in the US or across the world, scatter graphs to see trends in individual scores or sales, and meters and gauges that can be used to track the health of a set of data compared against company quotas or metrics. On this slide, you'll see a business that used a combination of charts and graphs inside an Excel spreadsheet to create a free, simple business dashboard for their company. The first page of this workbook is the dashboard, and the charts and the graphs update in real time as data is added or edited in the other tabs in the workbook. Google Spreadsheets can be customized to create pretty much anything you can imagine. And as you can see by the picture that just appeared, some visionary office workers have even used spreadsheets to create works of art. While charts and graphs are certainly cool features of Google Sheets, they're basically useless in large spreadsheets unless you are able to identify smaller sections of data to be analyzed or displayed. That's where pivot tables come in. Pivot tables allow the user to extract a smaller set of data from the spreadsheet and summarize it to find significance in the interpretation. For example, you could spend a great deal of time scanning a spreadsheet to search for employees who haven't turned in their insurance health screening forms. But if you have a huge organization with hundreds of employees, the likelihood would be that you just end up with a headache, eye strain, and probably a faulty data set. Even conditionally formatting a large spreadsheet isn't foolproof, as it still requires someone to count up the flagged employees, which opens up the counting to human error. Creating a pivot table allows the user to create a completely new spreadsheet just focused on the negligent employees. Once that data is populated into a new table, the employees can be counted, sorted into groups by department, ordered by last name or how overdue their screening is. You can do pretty much whatever you want to do. In your Week 5 assignment, you will build a pivot table to focus on a certain set of data, as well as create a chart based on that pivot table. For more information and a step-by-step walkthrough of this process, please refer to your Week 5 Google video tutorial as well as your G Suite documentation.